to add your product to the app, and then people can buy it from other part of the app. So yeah, let's say in that case we need to create an order model whereby the user itself can see the order model. The vendor of that particular orders can kind of like see the list of orders people made for his or her products. And again, what else? Yeah. Yeah, also the admin, who is in charge of the whole platform, can be able to, let's say I want to see the list of orders people are making so far through the app. I can be able to see the orders. So that's why we are creating this order model. And the order model have an ID which is auto generated. I'll have a buyer ID. So the buyer ID is basically the current user who is trying to buy an item, which is this case is me. And the owner ID. So the owner ID is basically the vendor or the shop that's listing these products on the app. And I have the user model ID. So this is basically linking to the user model that we created over here. And then we have the product ID, basically which of the product that this user made an order on, and that is gotten from product ID. And the quantity that this user is ordering, so how many of this particular item that this user ordered. So that's where this quantity came in. And we have the status, like we over here can actually see in our design. On our design we have status for so where is it? On the design we have status for processing and shipped. So that's where am I again? Yeah, so that's where why we are using these status items. And then we can have other dates, the dates which this order was created. But the funny thing is that even if you don't add these other dates, AWS itself will actually add this for us here. But it's not called other dates. In AWS it's called created at and modified at. So let's say if you want to know the time when a user created an item in your app or something like that, and in your data, so you always have a created at and modified timestamp. So you can use that in place of creating a new order date in that case. But in this case we just decided to create an order date, but we can decide to use the created at. So I think we might decide to remove this, yeah, and use the created at. And again we have the receiver name. So the receiver name is basically who is receiving this order. So who is this order going to? Yeah. And the address. So yeah, basically which location is this order being, should we deliver this order to? Let's say the user is living in Dubai or any other Emirates or somewhere else. So we allow the user to put their location there so that we can be able to send a dispatch a deliveries personnel to actually deliver this product to the person. And then we have the phone number. This is because we need to contact the user when we are delivering the order to make sure that we are at the right location, or we are actually giving the product to the right person or something like that. And time at home, so we are allowing this time at home is basically allowing the user to tell us the time they will be at home. And we have the card note. Let's say the user wants to add a note to the card, to the gift, so that's why we are having the card notes. The payment type, you guys already know. So the payment type can only either be card or cash. So if the user use card, then the vendor will know that okay, this user already paid cash. No, has already paid through the card. But if the user use cash, the vendor will know okay, we need to collect a cash from this person. That should be able to collect a cash from this person. So you have the total price, also the same thing. For the total price, what we are doing is basically the total price of the order that the user made. And next one we are having the eBay. Yeah, sorry guys. So the next one we're having the image URL. So basically, the image of the order that has been made, the item, the product name, the item name. So yeah, that's it about the order model. So yeah, so basically kind of like makes sense to actually have a model for each of the data that is going through your app, so that way it's kind of easy to track and be easy to call and use. Let's say instead of using this and we decided to use arrays of JSON. So yeah, arrays of JSON, we actually work here, but for me it kind of like doesn't look that clean, and actually does it doesn't kind of like look like what we need to do. We kind of like need to create this as an object, like in this case a data model, and link it to any of the user that is currently using our app, because that's what we are doing here. So we are linking this other item to any user that is using our app. So in this case, the user that has this user model will be able to have, can actually see that here, a shopping cart. So we are linking a shopping cart to that user. We are linking all others items to that user too. So that's basically what we are doing right here. Let's go back and kind of continue what we are doing. I'm going to move this off the screen.